Alright, so this video is going to be completely unedited and just sort of posted as quickly as possible to try to warn as many people as possible to not waste their gems on this absolutely abysmal structure deck Konami has just put into Duel Links. It is a rush duel structure deck, so a lot of you guys probably weren't going to buy it anyway, but for the guys that were going to buy it, for the love of a god, please don't. I'm really hoping this video is going to age extremely poorly, and after a few days some will break this structure deck and will become a top tier meta-relevant archetype or something, but from first glances of what I've seen from literally every single member of the community, this thing is a load of hot garbage, which is really disappointing considering the state Rush Duel is currently in Duel Links, where it's just absolutely abysmal. We just came off a KC Cup for Rush Duel, which was... that was an experience, just a complete tier 0 format of only dragons, and they came up with a ban list, which was probably the worst ban list I've ever seen in my entire life. Feel free to go watch that video if you like. But basically, they've given us a brand new structure deck, and it is horrendous. So to start with, let's talk about the big boss monster for the archetype. It is going to be your Raid Across Hero of the Dawn, a level 7, 2100 attack monster. We'll talk a bit more about that in a second. So the effect of this card is it allows you to shuffle 2 spellcast type monsters from your graveyard into the deck. Spell or summon up to 2 level 5 or lower spellcast type monsters face up from your hand to your field. Alright, so it doesn't sound too bad being able to summon out 2 big boys to your field. Could be pretty good. Until you sort of realise that the only 2 targets for this card are the 2 cards in the structure deck. Because currently we have only 5 level 5 spellcasters to use, and if they're level 4s, you can just normal summon them, so we only have 5 targets for this, one of which is a counter for level 6 or lower monsters, so we can sort of ignore this one, meaning the only actual targets for this are the 2 brand new monsters. Alright, and keep in mind, this thing has 2100 stat line, so this card by itself cannot compete with any top tier boss monster. 0 of them. Summon Skull, your Dragius, I think it trades with the big spellcaster guy, your 7th Row Magician. There's just nothing this thing competes with by itself. It needs something else in order for it to be an actual boss monster, which is not a promising sign for a card. But basically, this thing can summon 2 cards. Let's have a look at them. So the first one is your Hilt, the Bearer of the Noble Arms. 1300 attack. What? Requirement none. 1 untap position warrior type monster on your field gains 600 attack until the end of the turn. Okay, so this thing, when summoned alongside your Raid Across, means this card can now beat over one of your opponent's boss monsters. To be fair, it would only be, 2700 attack, so it's doing not a whole lot of damage to your opponent, and then you're left with a level 5 monster with 1300 attack that can't beat over anything. That's not great. Both of these are the ultra rares for the deck, by the way. And then we have your Seize the Scabbard of Noble Arms. Place 4 warrior and or spellcast type monsters from your graveyard on the bottom of the deck in any order. Spell or summon level 7 warrior type monsters from your hand face up on your field. So this card, at first I read it and I thought, holy shit, this card actually doesn't seem that bad. It's sort of like the level 6 monster that's currently being used in the spellcaster deck that can summon out your big 7th Row Magician to the field. It seems pretty good. Until you realise we don't actually have any targets for it. There's 3 level 7 warriors, because it doesn't summon level 7 or higher, it just summons level 7 warrior type monsters. So we have 3 targets. Your Max Raider, great. Your Guy the Fierce Knight, and of course, the brand new guy. And this makes me really disappointed, because if you think about it, right, this card's goal is to summon 2 monsters from your hand. This card's goal is to summon this thing from your hand. So you're going to have this thing summon this to summon another monster, and then this thing's only using its effect for 1 monster. Like, you're losing value. This thing is summoning a monster to then summon only 1 monster when it could summon 2, if that makes sense. You're using this card to fill up a zone that's meant to be filling up all 3 zones. It's not great. So you're essentially ending on a field of a 2100 attack monster that can be buffed, a 1300 attack monster that can't beat over anything, and a 1700 attack monster that, once again, probably isn't going to be beating over anything. I mean, it can beat over level 4s, I guess, there's that. So, by itself, the deck sucks. But there is a saving grace. We have got a brand new skill for it. We have your Daybreak Order. This skill can only be used if the only monsters in your deck are level 7 or lower spellcaster or warrior type monsters, okay? Can be activated if you return one card from your hand to your deck from your second turn onwards. Reveal one level 5 or 7 light attribute monster to your opponent, add one level 5 light attribute monster or raid cross Hero of the Dawn from your deck to your hand. So that's pretty good. It can search for your boss monster or it can search for one of the cards you want to summon with your boss monster, so that's pretty good. Then you can add one Rightful Magic from your deck to your hand, once per duel. And this is the spell card, the Rightful Magic. You can if you have two face-up monsters with the same attribute on the field, you can target one face-up monster on your opponent's field. It loses 600 attack until the end of the turn. Actually, not a bad card, and honestly, if you want to go into the structure deck to get a hold of one copy of this at least, honestly, it's not that bad. Maybe it's worth going into. Maybe you don't have the barrier yet. You could use it to get a hold of this card as well. That's sort of alright, I guess. So, probably the best card in the deck list is just a random-ass spell card. But the skill can search for this thing, which is pretty good. Until you realize this is a once per duel skill. So, compare this skill, which allows you to search for your boss monster and search for your attack debuffer. I think I actually said what this card does, right? It can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, at least 600 attack until the end of the turn. So it allows you to beat over basically anything. But now we compare this skill to just literally a copy of Seven's Road Excel. So this skill basically allows you to search for your boss monster. This one also searches for your boss monster. This one allows you to search for a way to debuff your opponent's monsters. This one searches for, or allows you to activate a skill that buffs your monsters. This one, the attack buff, is not once per duel, and it doesn't require you to take up a slot in your deck list in order to use it. This one requires you to take up a slot in your deck list, and it's only usable once per duel. Why on earth would you ever play this spellcaster skill over this one? Why wouldn't you just play this deck list instead? This skill is so much better. It makes no sense. This deck list is already going to struggle to beat over things. We've already talked about this. This thing has 2100 attack. It's going to struggle to beat over things. But thanks to this skill, you're now going to have a way to beat over things once per duel. This isn't once per duel. You can just keep doing it as much as you like. You can keep boosting your monsters. And if you compare this to any of the other skills in the deck, like the Dragon skill with Dragonic Resonance, which can be used once per turn, you compare it to the the other Dragon skill, the thing that gives you 1000 attack every single turn. You just kind of think about how many attack boosting skills are in this game, and all of them are not once per turn. And if you think about even just a skill that can search for spell cards, just like this one can, your Climax Beat. Also, not once per turn. You can literally set your climax finale every single turn. Like, why? Why is this once per duel? Why isn't this not infinite? It's so stupid. Even if this was infinite, I don't think this deck would still be good. Maybe it'll be okay, because at least your boss monster can beat over things finally, but it's just, it baffles me. They released this thing as a once per duel skill. So, that's not great. Alright, so what else have we got here? So, I thought, just because my opinion on Rush Duel is really hard to sort of... I'm not the best Rush Duel player out there, so my opinions on the game might not come off as being very great, unless they're combined with some other opinions of people that are a little bit more smarter than me. So, what I've gone and done is I've got a few screenshots of people talking about this, so you guys can get the opinions of other people about this structure deck. Starting off, we have Mr. Grand Harrier here. He was currently talking about why there isn't a Rush Duel channel currently added to the Duel Links meta server for this deck list. That deck is hot fucking trash. Holy shit, what the fuck was Konami thinking when they designed those cards? Why the fuck are level 5s weaker than normal summons? Oh yeah, 1300 attack monster by the way. Why can you not beat over any boss monster in the game, and the best trade with the barrier, which is the trap card, is on the defense? Oh yeah, that's just use the skill card, bro. Omega lol. Yeah, let me use the spell card real quick to my level 5 with 1300 attack so I can clear this level 3. This skill could give you the spell card every fucking turn, and the deck would still be bad. Fantastic. Alright. Then we have the, I don't actually know what server this one's from, but someone in my Discord linked me this. This is apparently some smarter people who actually play Rush Duel talking about Rush Duel. Alright, so alright, how do you build the deck? You don't. Oh, you spent money. Draw trap cards. Easy, you buy one, then wait a whole year till the fusion drops to play the deck, which is this card, by the way, which is actually a pretty good card. It allows you to look at your opponent's macro and remove them, but of course, it's a fusion monster, and we don't actually have fusion monsters in the game yet. This thing has 2800 attack and can actually trade with things, so pretty good card for the future, so I guess if you want to buy the deck for the future, that's an option, I guess. Yeah, that's basically, that's that one's opinion. I think there's one more opinion I want to give. I think I had, Mr. It's Brad HD's opinion in here as well. Let me go find it. Where did he talk shit about it? Incredible how dragons can just get a free pot once per turn in the big boost. Yeah, we can only get the surge once per duel. Yep. Where we go. The smug bastard knowing you're about to waste $10. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I think Brad had some more complaints in here somewhere, but I can't be bothered fighting them. So that's basically the consensus on the structure deck. Don't buy it, it's hot garbage, and once again, Konami has managed to release something for Rush Duel that is so horrific that, it's just a waste of time. Thankfully, there is going to be another structure deck released for the new world, or the new, not new world, for the new New Year's Day, so maybe that one will be better. I'm not going to cross my fingers based on the recent events happening on Rush Duel, but maybe they won't completely screw it over. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, tell me your thoughts on this structure deck. Maybe I'm completely overreacting. Maybe there's some people out there that actually play Rush Duel who know this stuff very well and they think it's actually going to be pretty good, or maybe I'm just overreacting. Hopefully I am. I really do hope this video ages poorly and it turns out this deck is amazing. But for now, this thing seems like a hot load of steaming garbage. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you see you in the next one. Laters.